A huge trade just went down between the Houston Astros and the Chicago Cubs. It is time right now for David Stearns to hit the phones, call Houston immediately, and get the ace of this 2025 rotation. Let's get into it. All right, what's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the True Mets Talk podcast. We have some breaking news. The Chicago Cubs have acquired superstar Kyle Tucker in a 3-for-1 deal from the Houston Astros, as was first reported by John Heyman. The deal has gone through, and this has massive implications for the New York Mets in their search for frontline pitching for the 2025 season and beyond. We'll get into that here in just a second. Please hit the thumbs up button on this video if you enjoy the content. Subscribe to the channel as well. Hit the notifications buttons and let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Okay, it is time for David Stearns to call up the Houston Astros immediately following this trade of Kyle Tucker to the Cubs because he could strike gold in terms of bringing in an ace alongside Kodai Senga and taking advantage, so to speak, potentially a vulnerable Houston Astros organization with their future contending abilities in doubt. Framber Valdez, it's time, David Stearns. Take advantage of the situation, swoop in, and get your guy. It was reported a couple of weeks ago that the Houston Astros were willing to hear other teams' offers for both Valdez and Tucker, but it was not imminent that they were trying to get rid of those players as they were still in between whether they wanted to contend in 2025 or start the rebuild, so to speak, in that organization. The Kyle Tucker situation opens up the door where they could be reevaluating their thought process for 2025. And with Alex Bregman a free agent, both of those offensive players gone could entice them to get the most return in terms of the prospect haul that they could get back for Framber Valdez, given that he would be a rental for any team that trades for him. Now, he is due $18 million for the 2025 season as he is approaching 32 years old, but he has been a pillar of consistency for the Houston Astros, especially over the past 3 seasons. And also to go along with the consistency, the innings that he pitches, he is an absolute workhorse. Now, again, as I mentioned, this would be a rental for the New York Mets, so this would not be as expensive of a move for them to make, given that fact, potentially, theoretically, you would hope than a Garrett Crochet trade would be that they're trying to negotiate with the White Sox before the Red Sox inevitably landed him. And if you are able to land Framber Valdez, you can immediately talk contract extensions as you just brought in Juan Soto and you have this window, so to speak, of your core players being in their primes and also the first 5 years of that Soto contract before the opt-out decision has to happen. Now, again, the statistics of Valdez, the innings pitched aside, the consistency in the strikeout rate and the walk rate. He doesn't walk too many hitters. He's right around league average. And he also doesn't put many hitters away via the strikeout and swing and miss, which is okay. You look at the Savant page to the right, the ground ball rate is very high for Framber Valdez, and he likes to pitch to contact. Yes, that gets him in trouble sometimes, and we've seen that. But again, he is efficient and he has a vast 4-pitch arsenal that he evenly distributes, as you see here with the sinker, curve, change, and a little bit less of the slider at 4.3%. But Mets fans, this is not the time to be doing a deep dive into the analytics given the nature of this Mets rotation. You add Framber Valdez alongside Kodai Senga as your top two in 2025, potentially bringing back a guy like Sean Manaea as your number three and rounding out your rotation with David Peterson, Frankie Montas, and a battle between Clay Holmes and Paul Blackburn. I'm going to take that all day long as a 6-man rotation. And again, this is the perfect time for the Mets to swoop in and offer something up that the Astros simply can't refuse and will not think twice about. So for those of you all watching, one of the prospects in return that the Astros just got from the Cubs is a top prospect that is a third baseman. So unless Brett Baty and the Mets could sell the Astros, that Baty could transition easily into an outfielder, a corner outfielder, then they would have absolutely no use for him. So I'm thinking more of the two guys that the Mets acquired from the Astros to send Justin Verlander back to them in 2023, either Drew Gilbert or Ryan Clifford. I honestly think that Ryan Clifford makes more sense for them given the nature of their organization right now, but also the outfield. There's a couple of candidates that they could also trade from their outfield, including Chas McCormick, and Drew Gilbert could absolutely make sense for them as well. I think the common theme here and what I'm trying to say is that nobody outside of Brandon Sproat is off the table in a trade with the Houston Astros for Framber Valdez. The New York Mets are in a situation where they just handed 765, perhaps even more $1 million to Juan Soto. They have Francisco Lindor in his prime. Same thing with Brandon Nimmo. If they bring back Pete Alonso, it would be the same situation. The next 3 to 5 years is the striking time for the Mets to go out there and bring a championship to Queens. So please, Mets fans, let me know what you think of this move in the comment section down below, of this hypothetical move, as the Mets are still on the look for that ace to go alongside Kodai Senga. Would you like for it to be Framber Valdez, or would you still like for the Mets to explore other routes? We have heard other names being thrown out there around the league, whether it is Dylan Cease, who is also going to be a rental from the San Diego Padres, or whether it's Luis Castillo, who is under contract for the foreseeable future. And we also have other names that we probably will talk about at some point on this channel, in Mitch Keller and Jared Jones from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Let me know in the comment section. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. You know where we will be at all off season long with the Mets content right here. We are going live at 5 p.m. tonight on the channel, Mets Hot Stove Live. Hope to see you in the live chat. Your boy CP. Let's go Mets. David Stearns, let's get this done. Peace.
Thank you for watching the True Mets Talk podcast. Make sure you're tapping on that notifications button and checking out all the latest content on the channel. Thank you.